Alright, hello everybody, this is Ice, and welcome back to another video in the Minecraft Redstone Calculator tutorial series. Now, this is a pretty important episode because we're going to be finishing up the inputting system for our calculator. Next time, we'll actually be setting up an adder, which will be pretty cool, and getting into the real math functions of the calculator. So, that's that. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we want to do in this episode is hook up the plus and minus symbols so that we won't have minus signs in front of all of our numbers. That's probably a good thing. So that's really easy. I mean, it's not even a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this around, and our goal is to bust the wires through this gap here. I made it by accident, but actually it's kind of a happy mistake, if nothing else. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out 2 blocks extra on this minus sign, just so that we don't run into things that we shouldn't run into. And what you want to do is you want to come out maybe, well, several blocks on each of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now bring this down. Not particularly hard. As usual, I'm going to let you do most of the bussing on your own. I just want to show you how it should work. Then we want to, oops, like that. Then what you want to use is a glowstone tower, as always, to bring this down to here. Then come down here and go through here. So what you'll be doing is bring this through. Now I would say get these 2 inputs to around here, and then we can do the demultiplexer together. The one suggestion I have when you do these wires is not to do this. Because of the arithmetic symbols, which are going to have to come through this area here, I would in fact bust these wires out even farther to here. And this is just to avoid having to mix our wires together later on. I not only recommend this, I strongly recommend it, so yeah, just a heads up. Another great world edit command that I am proud to introduce to you is the following. If we go over here and select, for instance, this block here, and this block here, and we say replace air redstone rather than set redstone so we don't get wrong blocks, then that saves you a ton of time. So again, just another suggestion. Alright, so the next thing you want to do once you have these bust, I don't, but that's fine, is come down to about here, so I'm around here, and we're going to explore a different flavor of demultiplexer now. If you don't remember what a demultiplexer was, it's the same device we used up there to switch between 2 inputs to our number inputs. Now we need to do the same thing for plus and minus signs. So, what you want to do, I think, well, yeah, we can use this design, is come through here and have a repeater coming out of each of these sides, have a block here, and a block here. So now you'll have, oops, so now you'll have wires coming out like this. And now, if you go ahead and put 2 more repeaters here, then this is the input to your demux. Now, this input will be coming from the plus or minus sign, so that's down here, this wooden button here. And now you'll come down here. Come through here, like so. Come down here, like so. And you want to just connect this bus into here. Now this is just an easy bus, so I won't put redstone on it. As always, again, if you're having trouble putting redstone on the buses, do leave a comment. I can potentially help you with that. It's pretty straightforward though, and I'll look through it at the end. So now we have that, and to hook up to this input, which is the muxing input, or the demuxing input rather, you will actually connect it to this wire for clear reasons, or obvious reasons, because this is the wire that switches between the 2 inputs. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, repeater, and do that. So now, you should have all that working once you've added redstone. Alright, so once all of this is bust, the last thing you want to do is add 1-tick monostable circuits to each of these wires. Now, this is something of a hack, but we can do it. And what will happen is that it will turn these minus signs into T flip-flops. If you know how pistons work and how pistons receiving 1-tick pulses will drop their block, so that will make them into T flip-flops. Kind of cheap, but again, it works, so I'm fine with it. So if we just put pistons like that in front of any of your repeaters, then that's all you need to do. So now you want to pulse each of these one time, just so you start it off, and pulse this one time. And now, for the first time, we should not have minus signs in front of our numbers, which is quite a nice sight. So now we have positive numbers for a change. So let's try this out. I'm not sure if I connected the right inputs of the multiplexer to the right thing, but that would be easy to fix by just inverting. So let's see what happens. If we hit our plus and minus sign now, we want it to go to the top. I'm not sure if it will be, and it does. Okay. There we go. Now, if we do it again, now it should turn it off. And indeed it does. On the other hand, if now we hit an arithmetic symbol, now we've changed the state of this demultiplexer, as you can see. Now it's going to be going through this wire rather than this wire. We've changed the state of the demultiplexer, and now, oops, didn't want to put that there. If we hit this button, it will turn this on and off, which is exactly what we wanted, so that is pretty cool, I think. Next is the arithmetic symbols, and that's just busing, really. Nothing too advanced. Now, the one problem with this is that we have to bus it through this area, and you need to do it with all 4 wires. This is kind of tedious. It's not hard. I don't think you'll have a problem with it, but there are some things that are going to cause problems. Or minor problems, not real problems, but things like this, where you aren't going to be able to get this through like that. And things like that, which are a bit harder. Yeah, you can just come around like this. This is really the only hard part, though. It will look a bit messy. It's getting a bit messy around here, and I'm aware of that. But we're almost done with the input panel, except for the calculate button, which is easy, so this is the last thing we'll have to do here. So, now we have these inputs coming out, and basically what you want to do is bus them from here, all together, making sure to turn them all together, through here, around here, and above, and in between these layers of pistons, and up to the arithmetic symbols. Now, actually doing the arithmetic symbols is going to be slightly harder, but again, that's how we're going to do it. So, because these buses are a bit trickier than the others, I'm going to do one of them on camera. I think I have plenty of time in this episode. Like this. And now, we're going to do this. Which is not important right now. You just want to bring this up. And this is still pretty easy. Let's see. Yep, this is how we want to do it. At a certain point, you want to start coming up, like so, until you're here. Again, pretty easy. I'm not going to put redstone on the buses on camera. I don't have time for that, unfortunately. We're going to bring this far out, until we're about here. So now you just want to do that with the other 3 wires and put redstone, and I will get back to you when we've done that. Okay, so now, what we're going to have is we're going to have these 4 wires. Again, when you're doing this busing, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of replace air redstone. This would take forever if you didn't use some sort of form of that of command, and, well, I just recommend that you do that. So the next step is a pretty fun step, pretty important step, too, which is to set up the arithmetic symbols. So the first thing we want to do is actually put wires on them for the first time. This is not that hard. For instance, for the multiplication sign, you might put wire like this. for the division sign like that. For the addition sign, like, for instance, this. That should work. Then you also want to invert these inputs, so just stick torches because obviously this is an inverted screen. The reason we did an inverted screen is because it looks better. It just looks better in general. So we have a bunch of room to do the register for this rigmarole here once I've set this up. And yeah, that's what we're going to do next. The first thing you want to do to start off this part is to set up something that looks a little bit like this. In particular, we just want to get these inputs to a point where they're the same, at the same location here. So bring these all around so that you have some sort of... what? Oh. So that you have some sort of thing like this. Like so. And there's that. So the next thing you want to do is, well, what we're going to need is some D flip-flops or D latches, depending on how correct you, or formally correct you want to be. But basically, again, this isn't beautiful, I know, sorry. But basically what you want to do is you want to, this is a very standard design, it isn't my design, I think it was originally made by Deuterant, the guy who made the Red Game computers, which everybody seems to hate for some unknown reason. But yeah, this is often known as a dude flop for some reason. But basically, you want to put that there, like so. And now come around like this with the repeater and 2 dusts and 2 dusts. And a torch and a torch. Repeater here and actually glowstone like this. And there is that. There is your dude flop. And now you want to come in. Oops, don't do that. Now you want to come in and stack this a bunch of times. Or stack it 3 times to be precise. Stack 3. And there's that. So now you want to come in here and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This one will need a repeater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it won't. Okay, there we go. So there is that. And the next step is to actually wire these in. Now, the biggest question is of which is which. So, for instance, we have plus on this side, minus on this side, times on this side, and division on this side. So now, what we basically want to do is come down here and figure out which of these is which, based on the buttons. So, this is not too hard. So, for instance, plus and times will be on this side. So this is plus, this is times, this is minus, and this is division. Okay, so we bring that around here, and just so I remember that, I will put some signs on here, because we will need this in the future, which is right now. So this is the plus line, I believe. This is the times line. If the inputs are all messed up, then I did this wrong, but I think this is correct. This is the minus, and this is the division. Alright, so now what we want to do is bust these up into here. So, let's see how we want to do that. First of all, plus needs to go out here. So this is going to be a bit annoying to do. I messed this up, but oh well. Life goes on. We're going to need one more glowstone here, I think. Yep. This is going to come down here like so. And there's that line. Again, you can put redstone on it later. Now you want to come around with this line. The next one is minus. So, pretty easy. Like this. This is certainly a lot cleaner redstone than the other calculator I did. come around here, I believe, with times. Come as far as you can without messing... Oops, that's too far. Come as far as you can without messing things up, but don't mess things up. And bring this up, bring this up. You're getting the hang of this, I'm sure. And one more. There's that. And last but not least, you can do the division line. Again, pretty trivial. Just bring this up like so. Oops. So now, of course, you can do all the normal stuff where you add the redstone dust to these wires, and I will get back to you. Alright, so now we have this. It should look something like this. And now, what we want to do is hook this up in such a way that whenever you press any of this, well, in this case, like so, when you press any of these inputs buttons, it's going to come up through here and back into this right line. Now this is the right line of the register. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. There we go. Okay, so now we should try this out. And again, we can literally go down and pull this, put a button here. So this is our minus button. So let's see if it works. And it does not. That's typical. So what you want to do is you want to add some delay to this. So for instance, you could add 2 more ticks of delay. Like so. And that still doesn't work. I wonder why that doesn't work. That's weird. If we hold this on, and then we do this, yeah, that saves it. Well, I guess you can add more delay, if that's what we need to do. That's too much delay. Now it doesn't even do anything. I imagine there's some sort of balance here. Oh, well, I suppose if nothing else, we can use a monostable here. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Okay, so just put a repeater, or just a wire here, sorry about that, and piston here, like so. Now it will work, I believe. Yeah, now it's saved in. Okay, so now we've saved these into the register, and the last thing we need to do is hook the reset button to this, which is not too difficult. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to make one last bus that comes up through here, and again, I won't finish it this time because I'm kind of running low on time myself, but what you need to do is make this bus go around here and up through here. You want it to come next to these arithmetic symbols and go through underneath here. It will come right next to the edge and bring it to here. So once you're done with that, I will be back. Alright, so the final step that we have to, well, to having this work is to hook up the reset button. Now this is pretty easy, we just want it to save nothing into this register. So if we do this, then in theory we should get something that works. So you want to hook this up just the way I am doing it. From here, I guess, to make things consistent. It will need to be moved over a couple of blocks, that is fine. Like so. And now I would just go and connect that up. Alright, so as of now, you should have finished your inputting and outputting system. So, just as a recap here, this is what your thing should look like. You should have this wire connected to this monostable, just like that, with the repeater. And now, we are ready to test this out for the first time for real. So, as you can see, there are no symbols on in our input system right now. Let's see what happens when we try to do, for instance, 51 times minus 30. So we'll start with a 5. Works great as always. And then a 1. Then we'll do times. Now what should happen is that the times symbol will show up here, if we've done this right. And it does not. Okay, well, let's see what happens here when we turn this on. We've probably just messed up a timing somewhere. Can't be that. Oh, nope, we've literally done that. Okay, well now if we do that, a times cross should appear. Apparently I just didn't do that for long enough. And now, if we try this out, we'll for instance do a minus sign, which is this button. Minus, good. And 3. 0. And lo and behold, we have inputted this problem into the calculator. Now it can't do the problem, obviously, that's what happens next. But if we go ahead and hit reset, it should all disappear, including the minus signs. Perhaps we didn't do that? No, we didn't do that. Okay, well next time we'll finish this up by setting up the reset button for the minus signs, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I think we've pretty much finished this, and I think it looks pretty cool. We have some seriously advanced redstone here. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this part of the thing. As always, well, bye now.